The Story Vault presents The Berserker, Episode 2, Bond of the Alphas. The wind roared across the frozen wilderness, carrying shards of icy cold that bit at the skin like 1,000 tiny blades. The snowstorm was relentless, a swirling tempest that turned the world into a blinding white void. Each gust sent shivers through the bones, and the Berserker's fur-lined cloak flapped violently, barely clinging to his powerful frame. His boots sank deep into the snow with every step, the crunching sound drowned by the storm's unyielding howl. The air was sharp, each breath burning his lungs as he exhaled a steady rhythm of mist. Around him, the landscape was a desolate masterpiece. Ice-coated trees bent under the weight of snow, their twisted forms like frozen sentinels guarding the lifeless expanse. Jagged cliffs loomed in the distance, their edges softened by the veil of snow, and beneath them, the frozen river glistened faintly in what little light broke through the storm clouds. The Berserker pressed forward, his storm-gray eyes scanning the horizon with unyielding focus. The biting cold stung his exposed skin, but he moved with purpose, his grip tightening on the straps of the axes slung across his back. The wind howled again, carrying with it an ominous silence between gusts. In this land, the cold was not the only predator. A sound cut through the storm, a low guttural growl that seemed to rise from the depths of the earth. The Berserker froze, every muscle coiling with tension. Slowly, he turned toward the sound. Through the swirling snow, a massive shape emerged, solid and deliberate like a shadow-given form. A bear. Its hulking frame moved with the grace of a predator, the frost clinging to its thick fur shimmering faintly. The beast's dark eyes locked onto him, sharp and intelligent, exuding both power and an undeniable will. The air between them seemed to hum with tension as they stood unmoving, two alphas caught in a moment of primal recognition. The bear's growl rumbled again, low and resonant, and the Berserker's hand drifted toward the handle of his axe, though he did not draw it. The wind whipped between them, carrying flurries of snow that swirled and danced as if the storm itself paused to witness the standoff. Neither man nor beast moved. The Berserker could feel the weight of the bear's gaze, a silent challenge that demanded respect. And then it came, movement at the edges of his vision. Subtle at first, but unmistakable. Wolves. They emerged like ghosts from the storm, their forms lean and desperate, eyes glowing with the wild hunger of creatures driven to the brink. One by one, they encircled the Berserker and the bear, their breath steaming in the icy air. The pack moved silently, their padded feet leaving faint impressions in the snow as they tightened their formation. The bear's growl deepened into a thunderous roar, a sound that shook the very ground beneath them. The Berserker stood his ground, his grip firm on the axe now in his hand. There was no hesitation, no doubt. Man and beast were no longer adversaries, but reluctant allies in a battle for survival. The first wolf lunged, a blur of teeth and fur. The bear reacted instantly, swiping with a paw so powerful it sent the wolf sprawling into the snow. The Berserker moved with practiced precision, his axe arcing through the air to deflect another attack. The storm seemed to intensify, the wind howling in time with the chaos of the fight. The wolves were relentless, their hunger making them bold. They darted in and out, testing the defenses of their prey. The bear's roars echoed across the landscape, its massive form a blur of motion as it struck down attackers with sheer strength. The Berserker was a storm of his own, his axe moving with calculated ferocity, each strike forcing the wolves back. The snow churned beneath their feet, stained and chaotic from the struggle. The wind carried the sound of snapping jaws and defiant growls, a symphony of survival played out against the storm's unrelenting backdrop. One by one, the wolves fell or retreated, their snarls fading into the distance until the storm's howl was the only sound that remained. The Berserker lowered his axes, his breath heavy and visible in the freezing air. The bear stood a few paces away, its massive frame rising and falling with each deep breath. Their eyes met once more, and this time there was no tension, only a silent acknowledgement. A bond forged in the heat of battle and the cold of the storm. The bear huffed, a low sound that seemed almost like a farewell, then turned and lumbered back into the forest. The Berserker watched it go, his expression unreadable, though his grip on his axe relaxed. He stood in the silence, the snow falling gently now as if the storm had spent its fury. As the storm began to clear, the faint glow of a distant horizon became visible through the thinning snow. The Berserker adjusted his cloak and resumed his journey, his silhouette cutting through the vast expanse of white. Somewhere in the distance, the bear let out a deep, resonant roar, a sound of triumph, of survival, and of respect. The Berserker paused for a moment, then continued onward, disappearing into the wilderness, leaving behind only the whisper of the wind and the memory of an unspoken bond. If you enjoyed this episode of The Berserker, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more epic tales of survival, strength, and honor. What did you think of the bond forged between man and beast? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned for the next adventure. Your support keeps these stories alive, so join us on the journey!